Hello everyone and welcome back. Today, let's go over our first look into Warfronts with the testing that they did for Battle for Azeroth. Now quickly jumping in, what this really reminded me of was the PvE aspect of old Alterac Valley. If you guys ever played Alterac Valley back in Vanilla, BC, or even Wrath of the Lich King, the BG took long enough for you to be able to do PvE aspects of it, like summoning elemental gods, druids, and reinforcing your own troops. And this is very reminiscent of that for me. Now in every single Warfront, you have two main resources, iron and wood. And this is used to build and train troops as well as their armor. Notice that the right hand side of the screen that does have these resources for you is an individual board. So this doesn't account for the whole team's resources. This is only what you've gathered for yourself and what you can spend. So let's go over what the Warfront looks like. First, you're going to be dropped down on the ruins of what used to be your old base. You're going to have to start reclaiming your glory and then start pushing out and beat the opposing faction. So first things first is not only do you have to reclaim your base, but the two nodes adjacent to it are actually resource centers. So you are going to have to claim the mine and the lumberyard to gain both iron and lumber. Once you do claim your base and start claiming some of the resources, you're going to be able to start building out your base. Now the mine allows grunts to bring back iron to the main base, which can be collected in a chest right here in the middle, and also miners can go to the mine and actually go ahead and use nodes to collect more iron. Now the lumberyard lets players collect lumber that is next to trees just like this. And in the base, we are going to have 4 different buildings. The barracks are going to allow you to hire and produce waves of mobs to fight enemies, with some of these being locked with other resources. The war mill is going to allow you to upgrade your own mobs' weapons and armor. The altar of storms will provide you with buffs. And the workshop, which is the last building, will give you demolishers to be able to push the gates for the opposing faction. Now once you do claim your mine and lumberyard, you can begin pushing the enemy faction, and the smart thing to do here is to have one team waiting back and actually on defense and collection, and one team for offense. Now the defense team that stays back will be collecting resources from the lumberyard and mine, and if you ever look at your map and see one of these waves going towards your base, the defense team should go over there, defeat them, and then go back to collection. Now once you do get your base built up and start building demolishers, you are going to want to protect them as much as possible. As part of the offense team, you can't actually push past the gates until the demolishers get rid of the towers and the gate itself. So you do have to wait a little bit of time and play that defense game while the demolishers do their work. Now once the towers and the gates do go down, you are going to have to fight the boss, which does have a few mechanics depending on which boss you fight, and once you fight, you do win, and this is the victory screen. Now that was a very oversimplified version, so let's go over a little bit more of a detailed approach for those of you who want to talk strategy. And that is, each one of these nodes has one main boss. This main boss has to be taken down before you can actually capture the point, which is kind of like Arathi Basin and Alterac Valley, where you claim it by clicking on the flag. The main boss of each area is also carrying a flag on their back. Now once you do claim a node, you are going to have some people that are vigilant on the map, because the enemy faction will send forces to claim those nodes back. So make sure that your defense team is constantly checking the map and actually playing defense. As of right now, for a normal mode, you can get away with using one tank, one healer, and a few DPSers for that defense team. Now, since you can see a lot of these enemy forces on the minimap, these big badges are actually going to be the elite squads coming out. This includes big DPSers, healers, and casters. The healers do run away from you, and the casters will try to CC you as well, so make sure you get a little bit more backup for these elite squads. Also, something that's very important is having your own waves of mobs. So when people go back from collecting to producing mobs, it's going to be really good for you if they produce them all in one big chunk, so you can have a bigger creep wave to push. The only way to lose a warfront is to lose your commander that is at your base, and that is very difficult to do. So just make sure that you have some people on defense to be able to protect that commander, and you should be okay. Now going over the map, you do have all of the main bases down here in a straight line, and then off to the sides you have the 2 resource nodes, and then the 2 additional nodes that are going to help you with additional production of different units like shamans and war riders. Now each one of these warfront fights will last about 30 minutes, so it's almost the same as going out and doing a keystone dungeon, except that this requires more people and arguably is easier to do because it's less pressure on each individual person. Also, one last thing is that you cannot just storm the castle. If the gates are still up on the castle, trying to run up to the gate will get you like 2 or 3 shot by cannons that are aiming down at you. You have to let the demolishers take these down first before being able to run in. That is the quick overview of Warfronts. Hopefully we start getting some more gameplay that is lag free as time goes on. We did just go into the beta phase. So if you like my channel and like what I do, go ahead and check out my Patreon for exclusive videos and access. Remember to subscribe to me here and follow me on Twitch since I've been streaming to both platforms. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, good luck out there.